The most dangerous moment in a relationship isn't the moment you start fighting. It is the moment you stop. It's that quiet, heavy evening when you realize you have something important to say, but you choose to swallow the words instead. You look at your partner across the dinner table and realize that explaining your heart feels like too much work. So you offer a polite smile, pass the salt, and retreat into the safety of your own mind. This is the birth of the silent misunderstanding. It is the slow, invisible process of two people becoming islands. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most couples don't even realize this is happening while it starts. You are still sharing a bed, still sharing a bank account, and still sharing a life, but you are no longer sharing a soul. Welcome to Unspoken in Marriage, where we uncover the hidden psychology behind love, silence, and the misunderstandings that shape every relationship. If even one of these signs feels familiar, pay close attention, because this is exactly how emotional distance quietly grows. Number 1. The selective hearing filter. In the early stages of a relationship, we listen to understand. We are hungry for every detail of our partner's world. But as time passes and the first seeds of misunderstanding are planted, we begin to listen only for evidence. Psychology shows that when we feel emotionally disconnected, our brains enter a state of hypervigilance. We stop hearing the affection in a partner's voice and start scanning for criticism or neglect. Imagine a husband who says, "I'm gonna head to bed early tonight," simply because he had a draining day at the office. In a healthy space, that's just a statement of fatigue. But because a misunderstanding has already begun emotionally, the wife hears something else entirely. She hears, "I am bored of your company," or "I am avoiding the intimacy of our evening together." She doesn't react to his words, she reacts to the rejection she perceives. When she becomes cold or sharp in response, he feels confused and unfairly judged. They are now both reacting to ghosts, to things that were never actually said. The tragedy is that you can be perfectly clear, yet completely misunderstood, by a heart that is already on the defensive. We stop talking to our partner and start talking to the version of them we've created in our heads. Number 2. The death of the small ask. One of the most subtle signs of a growing emotional gap is when you stop asking for the little things. Whether you are already married or still hoping to build a lasting relationship someday, pay attention to the silence that replaces your needs. Think about a moment where you're struggling to open a jar or trying to figure out a technical glitch on your laptop. In a connected dynamic, you'd reflexively call out for help. But when a misunderstanding has taken root, these requests feel risky. You start running a subconscious cost-benefit analysis. If I ask and they seem annoyed, or if they say no, it will hurt too much, so I'll just do it myself. This moment feels small, almost like personal growth or maturity, but psychologically, this is where the drift accelerates. Many couples pride themselves on being independent or low maintenance, but in psychology, this is often a defense mechanism called self-sourcing. You are protecting your ego from the pain of being ignored or let down. When you decide it's just easier to do it alone than to involve your partner, the misunderstanding has moved from your thoughts into your very habits. You are training yourself to live without them. Number 3. The scripted conversation. Have you ever noticed that your conversations have started to feel like a rehearsal? You talk about the logistics of the week. You talk about the kids' soccer practice. You talk about the weather or the headlines, but you never talk about you. This is what psychologists call functional communication. It is the boardroom language of a household. It's efficient, it's necessary, but it's completely devoid of intimacy. When an emotional misunderstanding begins, real talk feels like walking through a minefield. You fear that if you bring up how you actually feel, it will trigger an avalanche you aren't prepared to manage. So you stick to the script. You stay on the surface because the depths feel dangerous. You become two project managers running a life together, rather than two lovers sharing a journey. A relationship cannot survive on information alone. It requires the oxygen of true intimacy. Number 4. The rise of the safe third party. When we feel misunderstood by our partner, our emotional energy has to go somewhere. We have an innate human need to be seen, heard, and validated. If that need isn't being met at home, we subconsciously begin to look for it elsewhere to keep from drowning. This doesn't always mean a physical affair. More often, it looks like emotional outsourcing. You find a safe third party, a coworker who always laughs at your jokes, a best friend who validates your venting, or even a parent you call every day. You start telling them the secrets, the frustrations, and the dreams you should be telling your spouse. You find yourself saying, "My partner just wouldn't get it," as a way to justify your silence at home. Every time you share a deep part of yourself with someone else because it feels easier, you are taking a brick from the wall of your marriage and using it to build a bridge somewhere else. The misunderstanding at home doesn't just stay the same. It grows wider because the bridge back to your partner is being dismantled piece by piece. Number 5. The sensitivity shift. In a healthy relationship, we operate with a positive perspective. We give our partners the benefit of the doubt. If they snap at us, we assume they're stressed. If they forget an anniversary, we assume they're overwhelmed. But when a misunderstanding has settled into the foundation, that benefit vanishes. It is replaced by negative sentiment override. In this state, your partner's neutral actions are interpreted as hostile. If they are 10 minutes late, it's a sign of deep-seated disrespect. If they buy you a gift, you don't feel cherished. You wonder what they're trying to cover up or what they've done wrong. Your internal narrative has shifted from, "We are a team," to, "I am under attack." This psychological filter ensures that even their attempts to bridge the gap are seen as manipulative or insufficient, making the misunderstanding nearly impossible to break without a total shift in perspective. Number 6. The hidden testing. This is a common yet deeply destructive sign. It's the moment you start testing your partner without giving them the answer key. You might think to yourself, "I'm not going to text them first today and see how long it takes for them to notice." Or, "I'm going to sit here looking upset and see if they even bother to ask what's wrong." Psychologically, this is known as protest behavior. You are desperately seeking reassurance that you still matter, that you are still visible to them. But because the misunderstanding has made you feel unsafe and vulnerable, you don't ask for that reassurance directly. You set a trap instead. When they inevitably fail the test because they didn't know they were being graded, it only serves as more evidence that they don't care. You are looking for love, but you are doing it through a lens of sabotage. Number 7. The peace of resignation. The final and perhaps most tragic sign is a sudden, eerie sense of peace. To an outsider, it might look like the relationship has finally found its rhythm. But this isn't the peace of a healthy connection. It is the peace of resignation. It's the moment you stop trying to fix the misunderstanding because you no longer believe it can be fixed. The fighting stops. The complaining stops. The requests for change stop. You stop trying to explain your perspective because you've decided that being understood is no longer a possibility. This is the quietest part of the island. You have checked out emotionally, and you're just going through the motions until the clock runs out. You are no longer hurt because you no longer care enough to be wounded. If you recognize more than one of these signs today, don't panic. Awareness is not the end of a relationship. It is often the beginning of repairing what silence has slowly damaged. Misunderstandings rarely begin with shouting. They begin quietly, in the small moments when feelings go unspoken, when fear replaces openness, and when two people slowly stop letting each other see their real hearts. But the truth is simple. What silence can damage, honesty can still rebuild. And sometimes, the most powerful step towards saving a relationship is not a grand gesture. It is one honest conversation, spoken before the distance grows any further.